guys, Michael Valenti here with the School of Self-Defense, and today I'd like to talk about a subject that is almost never really addressed in the standard martial arts class, and that is conflict de-escalation. Now, most martial arts instructors will say these martial arts techniques are incredibly deadly and don't use them in the street, and then they proceed to teach you how to dismantle a human body. That is an incredibly irresponsible way to deliver this information. The reason being is you're taking a weapon, you're teaching someone how to use that weapon, and then you aren't actually properly teaching them how to avoid using that weapon, which would be the key to understanding that weapon in its entirety. Now, I'm not going to be able to talk to you about the entire process of de-escalating a violent situation in just one video. That usually takes a few classes to really get people good at that skill. However, what I can give you is one of my favorite bits of advice. And that little tiny bit of advice is when you are in a verbal confrontation with someone, that means that they are yelling at you, your number one goal is not to win the fight, but it's to de-escalate the fight. And the best way to do that is to follow this rule. Are you ready? Never say anything that makes you feel good. This guy is yelling at you, and your knee-jerk reaction is to show him that you are the superior human being while he is getting verbally aggressive with you. He says, "I bet you I can beat you up," and you said, "Are you kidding me? I'm a 5th degree black belt. I will crush you, you pansy." That makes you feel good, and what it does is it makes him feel inadequate. And the important thing to understand here is that most violence can be traced to 4 simple things: alcohol, drugs, fear, and a sense of inadequacy. So when you make that person feel smaller than you, when you put yourself at a higher position than them, what you have done is you have fed their aggression. You have not brought it down. So even though it may not feel good, especially if you are a 5th degree black belt, or you've been doing martial arts forever, or you're winning tournaments left or right, it may not feel good when somebody says, "I bet you I can beat you up," and you say, "Dude, look at you, your arms are huge, you could probably crush me." That doesn't feel good to say. But what it does is it goes ahead, it feeds his ego, and then doesn't feed the fire of aggression. You can apply this to your day-to-day life too if you become a master at it. It doesn't just have to be for a self-defense situation. Let's take a really simple thing, the common roommate argument that you come across, that one roommate doesn't feel that the other one is doing enough dishes around the house. That basically your roommate comes up to you and he says, "You know what, I'm sick and tired of this. You need to start helping out more with the dishes because I swear to God I'm doing all of the work in the house." What would make you feel good here is if you said something along the lines of, "Well, maybe I would do the dishes if you cleaned up the living room more often and you didn't leave your clothes laying all over the place and that you vacuumed every once in a while. I don't understand why I have to do all the work around the house and all I ask you to do is dishes, ... Makes you feel good, doesn't it? But you know what it's not doing? Resolving the situation. We've all been in these verbal confrontations, and what happens is we keep one-upping each other, and it goes nowhere. Because you know that with him yelling at you, he's never going to convince you of anything. So what makes you think that by you yelling at him, you're going to magically convince him of your opinion? It's not going to work. Your goal is to de-escalate the situation and bring it down into a debate or bring it down into a negotiation. And if neither can be done, then you must remove yourself from the situation to prevent it from escalating to a violent confrontation. So, getting back to the dishes situation, what may not feel good to say, but maybe you still should say, is, "Damn, you know what? I get what you're saying, and maybe you are right. Perhaps you and I can work out some, taking turns thing where you do dishes one week and I'll do dishes the next week, and then, you clean the living room one week and then I clean the living room the next week. That way we're both sharing, the same responsibilities and neither one of us feel like the other one's taking advantage of each other." That may not be what makes you feel good, what you want to do is you want to win the argument. But if you can bring it back down, ultimately, you've saved yourself a lot of trouble, and you've made peace in your home. Now, hopefully people aren't throwing fists over dishes, but what I'm explaining here is that by not trying to win an argument, but instead take the argument down to a debate or negotiation, you are winning because you are actually achieving a goal. Okay? And so if it's some random dude who wants to beat you up and you say, dude, your arms are huge, you could break me, I don't want to fight, or it's a roommate who just wants you to help out more around the house, by kind of sticking to this mindset of don't say the thing that makes you feel good, you're actually going to lead a more peaceful life and a more productive life. The School of Self-Defense has all sorts of curriculum that is self-defense based, the physical side, but we also focus a lot on the mental side as well, about conflict de-escalation, situational awareness, conflict avoidance, and all of that can be learned at our school here on the north side of Indianapolis. If you're interested in taking classes with us, please, all the information to start training with us is actually just right below in the description of this video. So until next time, guys, I'm Michael Valenti saying, fight on.